Hi, I'm Rose.
I'm Annabel.
And today we're making a Sicilian tomato pasta from our new book, Summer at Home.
So delicious and it's so simple. It's tomato season.
It's tomato season. We've got these beautiful, gorgeous tomatoes from the garden. And what I did is I got a little bit organised and I cut them up and covered them in salt about half an hour ago. And what the salt does is it brings all the moisture out from the tomatoes.
And it sort of makes its own dressing. It's called macerating, and you can do it with fruit as well, like strawberries if you do them with sugar. So this is the beginning, and it's almost the most important part of the recipe is giving yourself enough time to do that. Even if you left it for 2 or 3 hours, it's going to be fine. No.
Yeah, and that's how you get all the lovely flavour from the tomatoes into your pasta.
And I'm going to begin the sauce with a really good glug of olive oil. And then I've got anchovies. And I'm just going to chop them kind of like this. And what they're going to do is they sort of melt in the olive oil. And once they're melted, I'm going to add the garlic just so it doesn't overcook. And they get sort of pasty.
That's so delicious.
And there are lots of differences between anchovies. You really want to get a good quality anchovy that's almost reddy brown and it has a really meaty, hard to pull apart texture rather than, you know, it's worth paying money, don't you think, for good anchovy?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've got my pot of water here that I'm boiling for my pasta. The trick with pasta is to have quite salty pasta water. So they say that you want it to be as salty as the sea. So for a big pot like this, I'm adding sort of a couple of big tablespoons, and then we're going to add pasta. Give it a stir so it doesn't stick.
Capers are going in. Good pinch of chili flakes, garlic, and you always want to put the garlic in near the end because nothing is worse than burnt garlic. So just, you see those anchovies have already melted out.
The thing I love about this pasta is as it was inspired by panzanella, which is something that Annabel makes all the time, and is an excuse to eat bread in a salad. And it's just such a great way to celebrate tomatoes when it's the middle of summer. They've got so much flavour. They're so juicy and sweet and ripe. And it really is the only time of year that you can do that. So this is such a gorgeous way to really make the most of the sweetness of summer.
So let's see if the pasta's cooked. It's nothing could be worse than overcooked pasta.
Do you want me to chop it for you?
Yep. And it's really worth buying good quality pasta because it's all about the durum wheat. And that is still, can you see there's still a little ring in there, which means that it's not quite cooked.
So this is sizzling. I'm going to turn it off the heat now because I don't actually want to cook my tomatoes, but I want to warm them up and get all these beautiful, delicious garlicky flavours.
Oh, you can drain that now.
And there's so much liquid that's come out of those tomatoes from them macerating, which is just going to give this really juicy, incredible flavour to the pasta. One of my favourite things about summer is that it's quite inexpensive to get lots of herbs, so you can be quite generous with them. So we've got this beautiful basil from our hothouse, and then we've just got a little bit of red wine vinegar, which has a really nice bit of acid that sort of cuts through the fat of the anchovies and just gives you a really clean finish, which we love. And then we have some pecorino or parmesan that we're going to shave. You just use a potato peeler and you just want to shave off bits like this so you get nice big chunks of cheese.
So good.
This is a really great thing you can also eat cold. So you could make this whole thing, put it in the fridge, pack it up and take it along to a picnic, which is very fun.
You could do a wee bit more cheese, I think.
More cheese and some pepper.
And some pepper. Beautiful basil. And if you're growing basil, the trick is to just keep picking it all the way through. Pick the tips out, otherwise they'll form flower heads and then the plant will stop growing. So once it's basil season, you just got to keep picking that plant from about 8 weeks onwards. And you think, oh my gosh, it's not going to grow again, but it does.
Another great thing to do if you've got lots of basil growing that we do is we blitz it with a whole lot of oil and some salt and make a herb oil, and then you can put it into ice cubes, ice trays,
and freeze it.
And freeze it.
So great for winter when you know there aren't those lovely fresh flavours.
Salt. Give it a mix.
So it's sort of saucy, but it's just so fresh.
And so fragrant.
Oh my gosh, you're going to try it. Maybe a spoon.
spoon. Yum. Bon appetit.
Absolutely. Happy summer, I reckon.
Delicious.